Hi, I'm Lee, and this is Cass, and this is Cass Lee Productions. Okay, so today I am not doing a D&D story. Surprise! This one is going to be injuries I managed to receive. Somehow all of them ended up being ridiculous and stupid. The first time I ever got injured, I was like 6, maybe 8. At least I'm gonna say I had never broken a bone in my body until like last year. I broke my pinky toe, the easiest bone to break in your body, just so you all know, because I feel taking great pride that I'd only gotten sprains up to then. So this is like the story of the first time I sprained my wrist. I was actually playing soccer at my church, and I was the goalie, and I tried to save the ball with one hand, and the ball went whoosh and bent my hand more or less always all the way backwards, back to here. It hurt. It hurt a lot. I'm pretty sure I cried, tears, bawling, everything. I'm pretty sure this is my first sprain. By the way, I've had lots and lots of sprains. So of course they end up taking me to the doctor because there's obviously something wrong. Because it's like swollen and it's red and it hurts to move it. And so I go to the doctor and they asked me how I got my injury because all doctors ask this question when you've injured yourself. Let's be honest. And so I go, I got it playing soccer. And they all go, how did you get it playing soccer? You use your feet in soccer. You don't use your hands. And I'm like, I was the goalie. And they all go, oh. It's like, there's other ways to sprain your wrist without using it, right? You can just fall on it and boom, you sprained your wrist. So the fact that all the doctors questioned how they were like, how can you possibly sprain your wrist playing soccer? Was like, uh, excuse me, sir. I mean, it's a sport. You can get injured in any sport, and the fact that was my wrist shouldn't really be that surprising. I mean, I kind of get why they're surprised, but I was like, why you forget the goalie, man? Why you forget? um, the second time I sprained something, it was this thumb, and I managed to do that by slamming it in a car door. Yeah, I went to the doctors and they all thought my sister slammed the door on my thumb. They didn't believe me when I told them I slammed my own thumb in the car door because they just couldn't imagine someone doing that to themselves. Honestly, I'm not even sure how it happened. I just remember my hand was like this, a bit in the crevice. I closed the door, and for some reason, I just I just didn't move my hand, and the door just went. And then I quickly opened the door and screamed in pain. And then we got right back in the car after grabbing some ice. Actually, we grabbed some ice first, and then we drove to the hospital to get myself something for my thumb. I actually think I sprained. Yeah, the thumb came first. I'm pretty sure, and then I sprained my wrist. And then the second time I sprained something, I actually don't quite remember how I sprained it because honestly, I didn't think I had sprained it. I mean, it really hurt the first day, but the second day it didn't. And in my experience, the sprain hurts. The sprain hurts for at least usually hurts the next day. It's still as painful as practically the first day, but it didn't hurt. So I just thought my wrist was fine. Then I was getting off the bus in the morning and I slammed my toe against the metal bar that, keeps the seat that pretty much is this that is wielded to the floor so the seat doesn't like move, when you're sitting in it. And it for some reason, when I slammed my foot against this metal bar, the nerves from my leg, I could feel like the nerves sending the pain waves, but for some reason it went back into my arm and my wrist seriously hurt for some reason, and the pain just wouldn't go away. So we went to the doctors and it turned out I had sprained it. So I still don't know if I just got like really used to the pain, but for some reason, stubbing my toe on the bus reawakened all the nerves in their dormancy and was like, oh my gosh, it hurts. Why does this hurt? And I'm like, my toe didn't hurt at all. I don't know what happened. It must have been some weird neurological thing. I don't know. I took anatomy. I still don't know. Anatomy and physiology. Excuse me. So and then I was still playing soccer at that point at my church. They had a team, but this is a bit different from regular soccer because they didn't actually have any goalies. I still don't quite remember why there was no goalies, but there wasn't, which I was cool with because ever since that day I never wanted to be a goalie again, even though I used to love being the goalie. It was one of my favorite things. And then after I sprained my wrist, I was just like, nope, never again. So, I was playing soccer and then I managed to fall once again on my sprained wrist, which was pretty much healed at this point, and re-sprained it again. So that was exciting. Then I had another time where I sprained my left wrist by slamming it in the car door. But I actually didn't remember slamming my wrist in the car door. So when I got home and was about to go to bed, I was like, why does my wrist hurt so much? Like, it's kind of unbearable. Why does it hurt so? And then I remembered I slammed my wrist in the car door. Now, this one I know how I did. I was putting away books in the car from my mom's bookstore. Not bookstore, my mom, she works at a school, and they're having the book fair thing, and she lets us go over there and get books when they're there sometimes, so I still get scholastic. Yes. And I threw the books in the car. I was closing the car door, and then I realized, in just a few split seconds, all of this, mind you, that my wrist was in the vicinity of the closing door. So instead of drawing my hand back like a normal person would, I took my wrist and went like this up the door and hit it like right there with the door and sprained my wrist again. So it was fun. Let's see. I've managed to sprain my, honestly, I don't know how my wrists still function after all these times I sprained them. It's frankly amazing that I can still do anything without feeling pain. And I recently, I should tell you about the broken toe, how I got the broken toe. That one's fun. I was just walking down my hallway and ran my foot a bit too hard into my trumpet case. And what was really exciting was that I was in marching band. Yes, I was a band kid. And I still had to march. I mean, I was given the option not to march, but there was also a girl during that time who had like broken her, I want to say fibula, maybe it was her tibia, but she like did a clean break straight through, and she had a brace and everything. But you see, the thing with the pinky toe is, for the people who've never broken their toes, is that you can't put a cast on your toes because it does nothing because the bones are just too tiny in there that you can't even like really stinking realign them. So all you gotta do is make sure more or less your toe is steady. You pretty much just tape your toe to your other toe so it doesn't heal in the wrong position. So and keep in mind, all of your balance is retained on your feet. So I had to go throughout my whole entire day on a broken toe, and I had to march on it. Now, the girl with the brace, she didn't really participate in the practice, neither did I, but when the show came, she participated in it. She took her brace off because obviously it would inhibit marching. I thought she should have just kept it on and had Mr. I'm just calling Mr. G just deal with it. I think he would have been fine with it, honestly. I could be wrong. He could have just been like, no, if you're gonna wear it, just sit down because I don't want you to mess up the formation or anything. But I always thought band was more for fun purposes. I mean, yes, you still want to look good, but I don't know. But since this girl was marching with a broken leg, I got a lot of people were I was like trying to march, and there's this thing called dressing where it's pretty much you got to be in line with the people in front of you, like a perfect row and straight they forms, like no one can be like here or here, you got to be like shoulder to shoulder more or less over a long distance. And I kept on falling behind because my pinky toe really really hurt to walk on, obviously. And I told them that that's why I was maybe not dressing correctly, was because my toe was hurting so much. And they told me I had no excuse because the other girl was dressing perfectly and she had a broken leg. So because of that, I then felt obligated to march during the shows. Plus, I feel like all of us band kids have to be super extreme when we do things. So I just kind of was like, I need to power through the pain and do this. Now, I was kind of out of commission for the rest of the night after marching the show. I just kind of sat on the bench and didn't really stand or anything except for when we had to play. Yeah, that was fun. The doctor said I probably shouldn't march on it, but I did. It's fine now. It hurts sometimes when it's cold outside, but that's it. I also recently sprained my ankle this year. I was seriously just walking across my floor with my backpack on, just going ready to go to school. I was ready to go, man, and I stepped down off the step, and we have tile floor in our laundry room, and then we go to the shoe room because they're all interconnected. And I stepped down. I'm not sure what I slipped on, if I just slipped on the tile because socks and tile do not mix well or what, but my ankle went completely, my foot went like this and my ankle did not like that, and my foot ended up actually shoved underneath the laundry machine, and then I was on the floor and crying because as I went down, I could have sworn I heard a crack, and it just freaked me out like so bad. I was bawling and panicking, thinking I might have broke it. But I know that when you break something, people sometimes feel nausea, so I wasn't sure. And I was like a mess. And then my sister started panicking. And so then both of us had to calm down, and we called mom. Oh, yes. And then the thing is, I signed an agreement with my doctor telling them that before I went anywhere, unless it was an emergency, like I was dying emergency, I would come to them for it instead of the emergency room. So I had to wait till like 11, or maybe it was 1. No, I'm pretty sure it was 11 to see if I had broken my ankle or not. We were pretty sure I just sprained it at that point just because it didn't look weird and I could move it pretty well. So we were pretty sure I just sprained it at that point, but I could not walk on it at all and it was pretty swollen. I was really upset about missing class because I just don't like making up homework, and I'd already made up a lot of homework because it was a weird year. So those are all the stories of when I've sprained and broke something. I also have other ridiculous stuff I've done because I'm super clumsy, and that will be another video. But those are all the injuries that I have acquired over the years that were sort of ridiculous and stupid in the way I have attained them, and always made the doctors question what. Oh, I remember another time I sprained my wrist now is my left one. This one is golden. I was just on the bus. I was moving over for my friend, but she hopped over as I was pushing myself. And I actually sprained my thumb this time. It wasn't actually my wrist, but she came down on top of my hand and sprained my thumb. So when the doctor asked how I sprained my thumb, I told the doctor the whole thing I said was my friend's butt, and he broke down laughing, and then I went into deeper explanation as to how I got the injury. It was it was definitely worth the pain just to make that joke. Because how many of you can say that you sprained your thumb because your friend sat on it? I mean, come on. It's a great story. Oh, okay, I think that is in the entirety of the weirdness of things like that. I always like seeing the doctor, like, have such questioning and puzzling works after you tell them how you've injured it, because most of them are like, "How did you manage to do that?" And I'm always like, "I'm just special. I have talent. It just managed to get in the right way in the weirdest scenario possible, I guess." I don't know, some of them weren't too weird, but it's just like the most mundane thing, and that's why it happened. I mean, one of my friends broke all her toes from a boat because her feet were on the edge of the dock and the boat just hit the dock and got her toes. I mean that definitely seems more extreme than anything that's ever happened to me. All my stuff has always been over little stupid little things that happen to me, you know? So those are my injury stories. I hope you enjoyed listening to them and all of that. Please subscribe and like. I can't believe myself. All right. Have a good day, or whenever you're watching this, have fun. Okay, bye.